It feels like I'm talking to myself.
Maybe 20 people on the planet who've done it.
Amazing. This is beautiful.
Your body knows how to freedive. Your mind suck.
It's not what freediving is about.
I don't know if you're hypoxic or just really happy.
Life is a game.
You're down 50 plus meters and you're having a conversation with yourself.
I can relax on the couch with beer.
Performance will come. It's a byproduct of your level of relaxation. And
yes, relax as much as I can.
You are forced into the meditation.
Today we're diving with Benoit Piguet, a freediving ninja who can hold his breath for more than 10 minutes, which is longer than I can hold my patience. Ben kind of radiates this calmness, which helped me to break through all my personal bests. After I met him, I get to another level of relaxation in freediving and in life. And let's explore your journeys from freediving spiritual path. Okay, so let's begin. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Nick. So what brought me to freediving? I feel like I've always been really comfortable in the water as a kid, just playing in pools, just excelling, going to the bottom of the pool and just staying down there and just enjoying how quiet it was. And then something that brought me actually into freediving was practicing the Wim Hof Method. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, of course. Hyperventilation,
exactly.
which causes some altered state of mind and interesting effects on the body.
That's it. So that's what actually brought me into it. So this hyperventilation, breathing really hard for a certain amount of time and then holding your breath on partial exhale. And I remember just enjoying it so much in terms of sensation and seeing the progress just within weeks of the breath hold extending. But beyond the longer breath hold, it was really what was happening within. It just felt so calm and those sensations, which was hard to describe. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you would say that you immediately realized that it's more than just a sport.
Oh yeah, the way I was practicing it during the Wim Hof, I didn't feel like it was a sport. It was just I was discovering the connection, with the mind, the body-mind kind of thing. But then once I finished the program, I was just like, I love to be in and under the water, and I love holding my breath. Bring the two together, and it was freediving.
Where are you now on your freediving journey?
So now I'm a freediving instructor, soon to become instructor trainer. And since the episode with Wim Hof, I've just been practicing and pushing the limit. As you mentioned, I reached 10 minutes a couple of weeks ago, which is quite a big milestone. I think there's about maybe 20 people on the planet who've done it so far. So it's quite big. It's quite big.
Let's discuss this journey to this 10-minute breath hold, which is indeed quite a milestone. What tricks, what psychological preparations brought you there? How did you do it?
Just for the last part, because obviously it's a big journey. I would say that I probably done my first 5 minutes about 5.5 years ago. So there's a lot of mental work and practice that's been done over the past few years. But if you want to be more specific, in the last minute, the 9 to 10, or...
And how did your training evolve? Because after I met you and I learned to relax more, I want to know how your own relaxation progressed. How did you hit those last minutes, and what did you feel? What did you think about?
So as far as relaxation, what I've been practicing a lot with is yoga Nidra and NSDR. You're familiar with NSDR, non-sleep deep rest? It's similar to yoga Nidra, basically.
Oh, you mean when you're just doing shavasana instead of naps?
Yeah,
that's what I
much.
do.
Yeah, that's it.
If I get to sleep, fine. If not, I just relax as much as I can. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, you basically want to be staying on that fine line between waking and sleep, which is very similar to what we do in static, actually. But yeah, so I would say those are the tools that I've been using: yoga Nidra and NSDR, plus a lot of stretching and basically just practicing it on a daily basis, different point during the day, just checking in and making sure I'm not holding tension anywhere. And the more often you repeat it, the easier it is to access this state of feeling very relaxed.
That's interesting because I'm holding my breath at all times, even right now while listening to you. I noticed that I'm holding my breath. And how do you do it throughout the day? Do you have some special time for breath holds, or you just continually, when you remember, holding your breath? Or...
Oh, as far as breath hold, so it's usually I prefer to practice in the morning. If I practice on dry, I would do first thing after I've woken up. If I do my training in the water, I like to do it same first thing in the morning, like within an hour or so after waking. And then obviously all the breath hold I do during my teaching time. So it will be all day.
You call yourself a relaxation artist, and apparently this is the part of your repertoire of tricks, tips and tricks. How does that transform your daily life and your persona and your feeling of yourself and the world?
I feel like I've always been kind of relaxed and pretty laid back. So I've just been deepening this part of myself. But yeah, I can definitely find an impact practicing breath holding and all these techniques and everything. Yeah, it makes me even more, I would say, grounded and relaxed on a day-to-day basis. Just making it easier to basically not take things too seriously, I would say.
Would you say life is like more like a game or a play now? Or was it like this always for you?
No, so yeah, I think now even more. But so to go back to the whole part with the Wim Hof, when I started the breath holding, at that time I was kind of like on a quest. You know, I've had like kind of like a middle life crisis at 25, and I just started reading lots of books of like, you know, like spirituality, like all different kind of religion, shamanism, this and that. And this is when that notion of, you know, life being a game actually started to makes more sense, you know, because I was just, you know, everyone was describing this thing and really questioning reality, basically.
Amazing. This is beautiful because these are the parts I like the most when it feels like I'm talking to myself because I hear the same words and same vision and understanding. So, how freediving spiritual perspective or your connection with the universe? How did you feel before and how do you feel now?
Basically, I've been using freediving as my meditation practice. So this is what I tell my students. This is what I tell people. I personally find that static or freediving is, to me, one of the highest form of meditation. If you read in certain spiritual practices in yoga, they explain that the space between breath, between the inhalation and the exhalation is a very special space. And what we do in freediving is we tend to lengthen this space and like spend more and more time in full awareness.
That's interesting because for a long time I did not understand what they mean, which part of the breath cycle
Yeah.
they mean, and only after practicing freediving I understood that it's basically you inhale, you kind of exert some tension to inhale, and actually when you're fully relaxed, you don't force exhale. That was surprising to me because I thought I'm exerting kind of air. Yeah, it was amazing. And do you have any moments underwater that was kind of spiritual or psychedelic-ish, or having some kind of different mind-altering states or experiences?
Yeah, so couple of examples. I would say first in static. So I have these moment that I would call maybe bliss, like as close as what they describe bliss. So in the first phase of the breath hold, I would start to relax and really check every tension, relax, let go and everything. And then you get to this space where you're fully relaxed, the body's fully relaxed, the mind kind of quiets down, and no thoughts arise anymore, and you just completely weightless floating in the pool. And time basically just dissolve. It's crazy. Again, the words would be a poor description of what that feels like. But yeah, static has been like brought me some insane sensation in terms of the way the brain is working on the body. It's hard to describe.
And would you say this affected your self or like your persona, your character? How did you change since you switched to Wim Hof to to underwater breath holds?
Well, I think that became my safe space. So this is why when I started doing this and then free diving, and I was just like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I've been doing a lot more of it, as you can see. So yeah, even maybe a little bit addictive in the sense that this is now what I live by, and I've changed and revolved my life around it. So changed many things in terms of diet, in terms of sleep pattern, and this kind of thing. So I could get more and more quality out of it.
Interesting. Would you say that all people who seriously practice freediving start to resemble each other in their kind of outlook on life and how they behave, and it's like they're losing character, so to speak, Would you say that you feel that you're becoming like alike with the other freedivers, that there's some connection?
Yeah, possibly. I think that when you start to spend so much time doing the same activity, you will have similar behavior and maybe thought patterns and stuff. But yeah, I think like you get back to what's essential, holding your breath, just like try, like just after a few breath hold and realizing how precious the breath is, oxygen is. I think you just realize that what matters in life, and I think that you tend to live a little bit more simply.
Can you share this? What matters in life? I mean, okay, like if you would try to explain this to your younger self, what would you say then?
What would I say? I would say, yeah, basically, don't care what people think of you. It's still, I mean, it's still something that happens, but like, yeah, don't care so much about what people think of you. Take better care of yourself. This is something I realized, being younger, just going out and party and like maybe drinking too much or substance use. And now looking back, it was just more to kind of like, cover some kind of hurt or something like this. And I find that freediving is kind of like resolving it without the need of any substance. So yeah, I would say start holding your breath instead of drinking, and yeah, like don't worry about what other people think. Like do you? That's what I would say.
That's a nice advice. And what specific techniques do you use daily for relaxation? How do you, when you're not training, when in daily life, how do you relax, or how do you train yourself mentally?
Mentally, I've been using lately a little bit more of self hypnosis kind of thing. So recording myself describing an entire breath hold or doing something and listening it like during a nap before going to bed or if I have time, and kind of infusing everything that is said and making it mine basically.
Can you share a little bit how does it work?
Uh,
How do you describe it? You mean like pre-visualizing or
Yeah.
after?
So I would visualize, but I would, for example, describe different response from my body during a breath hold, and just describe it as they happen. So, for example, I would say when the contraction arises during the breath hold, the more contraction happen, the more relaxed I become. They're not something stressful. They're just leading me closer to my goal and deepening the relaxation.
This is interesting because after some time I stopped having contractions, and today I hold for 5 minutes. I didn't have any. Yeah, the body changes, its
Yeah.
reaction changes, and my feeling of it and feeling of the world changes.
Mm.
Does that happen to you as well? What moment you notice that life is actually a game?
During the breath hold,
No, I mean, just you said that it didn't seem so in the beginning, but then how did that transformation happen?
right. So since you want to talk about like, the spiritual things, so one thing that actually triggered that midlife crisis, I would say, or that phase of my life where I was a little bit lost, was actually a series of dreams that I've had when I was actually back in Bali. And I had some dreams that were so vivid and so realistic that actually shook me to the core. And I was just like, what is this? So that was actually the beginning of the journey where I started to look a little bit more into dreaming, and that brought me to lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming, where you are aware that you're dreaming. And then this is what actually started make me do body scan and everything, because I was trying to fall asleep consciously. So scanning the body and trying to basically, same that we do yoga nidra, shavasana, and basically trying to fall asleep, but staying aware so I could drop lucidly to a dream. And practicing lucid dreaming, it was probably the biggest point that shook and like make me question reality itself, in the sense that you can be in a dream, touching things, talking with someone, and being fully engaged and fully sure like this is it, this is life, and then you wake up and you're just like, wow.
After I spoke to you about lucid dreaming, first of all, I've read in this yoga book that the good yogi don't dream. They kind of switch off and on. And so
That's
I
true.
stopped worrying about that.
Nah.
But then I did what you said. After waking up, try to fall asleep again. And I cannot control it. But I realized that I'm dreaming and seeing a dream.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm on the way. Would
Nice.
you give any advice for lucid dreamers? How can I progress here?
I mean, this is it. Like, being aware that you're dreaming, I would personally consider a semi-lucid dream, because I know that I'm in a dream. I don't control anything yet. I kind of go with the flow. But I would say, like, if you're already aware that you're in a dream, like you're all like already pretty lucid, I would say. Then if you want to be able to start doing things, the best thing is to actually have a plan. So before when you wake up and when you're going to go back, and this is true, because like actually like a lucid dreaming teacher was saying, to get lucid and like to get good lucid dream, you don't want to focus on how, but why. So why?
Have a point, kind of the reason.
Exactly. And then you can just put in place. Because for me, if I'm not prepared and I get lucid in a dream, the first thing I would do is I just shoot off and start flying, because it's the best sensation and best thing you can do.
It's like intention and tripping. I usually intend like show me what I need to know, or
Yeah,
show what I need
exactly.
to see,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
And how did it work in your case? Did you see what you needed to see?
Some of it, yeah. I think like, so you could just basically, when you get lucid, like, okay, this is a dream. Oh, what did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to like show me something that I need to know. All you have to do is kind of like shout it, like, to the dream state, because the dream is basically your subconscious mind. You're basically walking in your own subconscious mind. So you could just shout in the open, like, show me something I need to know, or show me something I need to see, and you wait and you see what you get. It's similar to what you're describing, like you would do before a trip or something.
How did you see that life is a game after that, or what was it? What was the tipping moment?
Again, I have some very, very intense experiences that I've journaled my dreams, and I've had experiment with many different things, and I had some spiritual experience, like trying with mantras and this kind of thing, repeating over and over, and I had some experiences that were just beyond words. Again, same what I described with doing the breath hold, but again, it's just like how real things are in a dream. Like, same, like I could be dreaming right now. So one thing for you could do is doing a reality check. If you want to be sure that you're not dreaming, you just, like, what you can do is you look at your hand and you count your finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look away, look again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I was in a dream, usually I would have like a 6th finger, or like, the hand started to dissolve,
like
or something.
AI hallucinating.
Exactly, which is weird. But yeah, so this is one way that you can check that you are in the waking state. But yeah, again, because the dream is so real, you're basically in a 3D, like in a simulation, and like everything looks so real. You could be speaking with your best friend, you could be sharing very, very good information, having some very nice conversations, and then all of a sudden you wake up and it's just like, where was I? Like everything was so real. So what difference does it make in this reality? And if you read about, quantum physics and everything, they explain that nothing matters in a sense that everything is just basically mostly empty space.
Yeah, and somehow it holds up together.
That's what I mean.
This is amazing. And do you stay conscious during deep phases of sleep or just only rapid eye movements, shallow sleep?
So I would say that I'm not a very good yogi since I can't drop in like, dreamless sleep and just wake up in the morning. I feel like maybe I've experienced it a couple of times that, how do they describe it? Like this nothingness kind of thing, dreamless sleep. But yeah, it's very, very advanced. So yeah, no, I don't think that I'm at this stage yet. I'm still playing around with the dream state and these kind of things.
Very interesting. And how do you use mantras? How did they help?
I just played with some, just some very known, like one of the most intense experience I've had was with the Tibetan one, Om Mani Padme Om, and just repeating it over and over again, which was weird because I could feel myself and hear myself mumbling it. So I was kind of like, in between the states. Like I was almost waking up because like, I could feel myself actually mumbling the mantra and almost hear myself. And then I was gone. And then it's like in very, very intense experience after this.
Very interesting. And how would you describe the deeper states of breath holds? Because I checked in Grok, described how I felt after 5:30. The first time I felt like the world is kind of dripping away.
Yeah.
And Grok said that I have maybe 30 or 45 seconds more. And yeah, today I've stopped when I started feeling, blood pumping.
Yeah.
And what happens then, later in the breath hold?
So yeah, what you describe is when we start getting to hypoxic state. So heart rate, like the oxygen level really start to drop. The pumping that you feel is actually vasodilation. So now the blood vessel are actually getting bigger and like the blood kind of like flows even more. So this is where you get this weird sensation. But yeah, hypoxia is a little bit of a weird one because it feels kind of trippy, and you basically want to stay very aware when it starts and not try to relax too deeply because you could basically fall asleep.
This is what prevents long breath holds, because you need to explore those states carefully. You don't know
Gradually.
which one is the last, and this is what I'm trying to ask you. What happens later before the blackout?
You want to stay engaged. I was actually talking to my coach who brought me to 8 minutes. It was just telling me you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan, and you need to be ready. And
for every minute, kind of what you do.
For the last minute, yeah, of course, like the whole breath hold, you should have a plan for it. But like especially like you speaking specifically for the last part in hypoxia, and basically having your eyes open so you can stay anchored in where you are, because if you have your eyes closed and you really get into the sensation, you might actually just not realize that you're drifting away. When if you have your eyes open, then you anchored, like, okay, I'm in the pool, this is my safety is here. And then you could, for example, like start touching your fingers or something, or counting, or like keeping your brain engaged basically.
And then what, you start forgetting things, or how do you decide when it's enough, like in the last moment?
So yeah, it's a little bit of a tricky one. I know for me that I kind of have I think a safety mechanism that basically telling me, okay, now time to come up. So I've never experienced hypoxic blackout. Actually, the only time I experienced it was before I started freediving when I was doing the Wim Hof Method. So in a way, I'm glad I've experienced it, so I know what that feels like. But yeah, I feel like I have like a safety mechanism that is telling me, okay, Ben,
So
time to come up.
what's the last drop that you feel it's enough?
Yeah, it's kind of like drifting away,
It
like, you
should
know,
be
yeah,
very
exactly. It's
trippy by
kind of
that time.
it really is, it really is. So especially when you come up, so then you come up, you take your recovery breath, and obviously you can experience like, yeah, a little bit of like shakiness, like you don't really know where you are anymore. You feel like all happy and like giggly, and yeah, it's a little bit of a weird one, yeah.
The last moment, I'm trying to get from you information about, you know, I know, tunnel vision, or
Yeah.
how do you, what's the last mark that this is it?
Yeah, I think that yeah, tunnel vision. You can start feeling like, you know, like pins and needles in your fingers, in your legs, and like, yeah, you're just feeling like it's time to come up. If not, I'm just going to fall asleep. Again, I didn't experience it like too much because, like I say, like I've always been able to kind of like come out just before. And the thing is, so yeah, when you push a little bit and you're not ready for a breath hold, then you can have some short-term memory loss that you would not even remember your safety telling you, okay, last 10 seconds, 5, you're just doing it automatically. You come up, do your recovery, and then you don't even remember, like, you know, like you would just look at your safety, how long was it, because you don't even know, which is a little bit strange.
Something to be prepared.
Yeah.
This is prepared for. And what's your favorite things to do in the open water or in the pool underwater? What do you like? How do you like to have fun?
I think we did dive together, and like you did see when I'm in open water and stuff, I like to have fun just doing, like, you know, silly things. Blow bubble rings is probably one of my favorite ones. Just like blowing rings and like just coming up slowly with them, just like seeing like the light hitting the ring different ways. Just going down, laying in the sand, and just like, you know, looking at one corner of the reef and just seeing what is happening. Is so interesting, and this is why I like freediving. I prefer freediving over scuba diving because I feel like you're a lot calmer and it's a lot quieter because you're not making all the bubbles. So you just get to the bottom, lay in front of the reef, and just see what's happening. And then you see like the life. Some of them must actually looking at you and just wondering what you're doing here.
Yeah, I learned some new relaxation tricks from you, and those free immersion rides were amazing when we can just hang underwater for long periods of time. And what was any fun things happened underwater or crazy stuff, like encounters with, I know, animals or some random unexpected things?
There's always like some fun encounters with like random sea life. I like the pufferfish, like around here, like the pufferfish are really fun because sometimes they just move away and then they will slowly come to you. I've never experienced like too much big sea life in, like, you know, whales or like anything too big. I mean, I like to explore and play on the reef, but like we talked to, like you're speaking about that free immersion, sometimes it's also just like, you know, just going down on the line or hanging somewhere and just closing your eyes. I know something that is really nice. It's just like grabbing onto something like a mooring line, and you just like hang there, close your eyes, and you just feel the current, you know, just like kind of like wind, like, you know, like brushing like your skin and everything. It's just like, you know, just hanging and just feeling the sensation is quite amazing.
Did you see any whales or big marine animals?
Not yet. No, it's. I think if I want to go and see this, there'll be Baja California in Mexico. I think at the moment it's probably one of the places where you can go and just basically see whale shark, orcas and whales and seals, dolphins, pretty much all on the same dive.
We've been mentioning this underwater hangs and underwater meditation quite a lot. And when I try to explain people why I do free diving, and they tell me, but I can just swim in the pool, or I know I can just meditate, just sit on the chair and meditate. How would you explain what it does to you? Why people do that? Why they go and sit there in the darkness or in the blue light. There's some friends tell me, yeah, okay, I understand. You just go there and sit there watching the fishes, but there's even nothing to look at. It's just the blue shade, like blue gradient, top to bottom.
And it's beautiful.
Yes, but apart from that, why are you doing that? What changes? What does it do?
What does it do? Okay, so in my opinion, free diving and what you described, diving on the line, diving in the blue. So yeah, there's nothing to see. So it's actually an invitation to look within, right? So free immersion, for example, always pulling on the line. You could just close your eyes because again, there's nothing to see, and because you're in contact with the rope the whole time, you close your eyes. Removing the visual input is going to redistribute the this sense on the other one. So you feel more pressure, you feel more temperature change and everything. So why you feel it's so meditative? Because first we're holding a breath, and like we were saying, that breath hold and space between breaths is already a very special place in terms of meditation. And also because we are in hostile environment, underwater, so the body kind of like goes into dive mode, right? So heart rate is slowing down, everything kind of like, focus on, okay, now we need to be very present in what we're doing. And this is basically mindfulness, right? So this is the space we're trying to get when we meditate, and now we kind of like forced into it. When we free dive, we're actually forced into a meditative state. I think this is why people get back to it too, because everyone describe it. It's just like, wow, it's so calm down there, so relaxed. Because you are forced into the meditation, and the meditation is harder to be done on your couch, on your bed, because there's the phone, there's noises around. When you're in the water, you can't focus on the distraction. You need to be fully present on what you're doing, and this is meditation.
Yeah, and okay, so I can meditate on my couch. And even longer, not just, I don't know, 2 minutes or 1 minute. What that does? What does that do? What after you meditate underwater? What does it do to you? Why people keep doing
Well,
that?
keep doing it because, again, like the words are
Would you
going to
say
be.
it changes you? And if
Yeah.
yes, how?
Of course, because you get to this really deep state of relaxation that is hard to replicate on the couch.
I can relax on the couch with
Of course,
beer.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can.
How is this different?
Because, well, with the beer, you're using a substance to actually get to this space.
with,
So that could
with
be
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. So again, distraction.
Okay, just just with the book.
With the book, yeah, I mean, like, good book is good. No, like, I mean, when we holding a breath, when you're down on the line, and again, there's no fish, no distraction to see, then it's just you with yourself. And I think this is what freediving is so beautiful, because it's just you and yourself. You're facing, it's the connection between the mind and the body. This is why, like, to me, freediving is yoga, because yoga is the union of the mind and the body through the breath. And it's exactly what we do. There's no distraction. There's nothing to be done, nowhere to be. All you have to do is just relax so you can prolong the meditation state. Of course, on your couch, you could meditate for, an hour, but probably during this hour, you'll probably be thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner, what should I watch tonight? When you're underwater and you're doing your meditation, usually there's not much that is actually coming across your mind.
Yeah, I would like to say that freediving is yoga of water. And actually, what I feel that, you cannot freedive grinding your teeth or angry and, sad or jealous or something like that. And slowly these feelings just getting washed out of your body, of your mind, and your life transforms, and you start seeing things from the other side. I know, from the beautiful side. And yeah, this is amazing. This is what I try to preach, and from my perspective, freediving should be. I realized how it's structured. These waves, first you complete it on your own hard, but you push kind of through it, you do it anyway, and then they tell you, okay, good, now here's the easy way for this depth, and can then progress further on your own to figure it out how to get there. Once you kind of get there, they tell you, okay, good, now here's the easy way, and then you complete further. And this is amazing because it builds resilience, and you get acquainted with your body, what it can do, and this layer of what you thought is you is getting thinner, and stop messing up your life.
That's it. Beautiful. Yeah, that's very true. Very true. That's what I usually tell people. Your body knows how to freedive. Your mind suck at freediving. Initially anyway. It's going to come up with lots of excuses on like, this is too deep, this is too dangerous, this is this. And then slowly, like you say, it's going to wash away whatever is actually not helping your diving or your journey. Sometimes it takes time. I think it probably depends from one person to the next, but yeah, it's definitely washing off again what is not necessary, and like that's what I meant earlier, saying that you get to what is essential.
Yeah, interesting that you said that, because I realized that everything that prevents or kind of obstructs freediving is not needed in life, because turned out freediving was the best thing in life because it changes your life towards what it could be, kind of, and what it could be, not in terms of material gains or some score, but in terms of feeling of living, of life, of the joy of living, basically. Towards that, it cleans up and removes everything. So it's like in this Buddhist scriptures, kind of, and Vedanta, the happiness. Happiness is always there. You
That's
can
it.
see it when the clouds or when the dust settles.
Yeah.
Kind of it shines through. Yeah, this is. I love it when people feel it as well, and can describe it, and this is what I try to tell everybody. This is what you should be trying, and don't wait until the last wave. Start from relaxation, start from underwater meditation, start from long breath holds, start from the line. Don't worry. Some people cannot use fins, cannot equalize head down, and they do 30 meters on the first relaxed free immersion, heads up. It's amazing, and you never even know how far you can develop mentally, spiritually, physically, what your body is capable of. And yeah, it's crazy. And every time somebody, trying the first time and holding breath for up to 4 minutes, and like, what? I always could do that, and calmness changes the life itself. You become calm and relaxed at every situation. How do you explain freediving to your friends?
It's true. It's a little bit of a weird one when you speak. When you explain them, especially when you start speaking about deep diving, because if you describe a deep dive like, oh yeah, it's getting darker. My lungs are getting very small. I'm falling towards the bottom of the ocean, and like and you come back and say, oh, it was amazing. But when you describe it to someone, you say that sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
Right. But again, because freediving is about letting go and like trusting the body, like you say, like you not believe what the body is capable of, and that's why I like freediving so much, because this is the really good lab to explore and like see how far you can actually do things actually in a very safe manner as well. But the way I describe it is exactly how you described it just now, just saying like it's a beautiful way to connect with your body. Don't worry about the time after, like at first. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about distance and stuff. Just you want to get this nice sensation. Like, again, if you get 10 seconds of bliss, for 10 seconds, you forgot about, you need to breathe, and you're just there, and like you just fully relax, and you not think, or you just feeling really good. I think this is amazing already. It's just like this is the base, and you want to hold on to this and build up around it.
Slowly increasing the baseline joy baseline in your life.
That's
and
it. So in depth, I would actually put it down onto probably Narcosis, but I remember like first time I went down to 48 meters was in this lake in Nicaragua. So already this lake is a very special place. So volcanic lake, the water is fresh water, but with like some volcanic, like, elements to it. So it's like the water itself is beautiful. Anyway, so I went for this dive. It felt amazing all the way down to the bottom. Free fall was amazing. I turned around and start coming back up, free immersion, eyes closed. And I start to really feel like, this joy, like this sensation, like right there, just like going up. And just like eyes closed and just like, the smile coming up to my face. And then, starting to have like this burst of colors coming like behind my eyes, like very, very trippy, and just coming up and like just feeling absolutely amazing, and like having like all these like colors coming up. She's like, what is going on? And my safety was coming up, and like she just said, like at the surface, then she was saying, I don't know if you were hypoxic or just really happy, but like you had a smile all the way up to here. And I would like to this day, that's probably one of the best deep dive I ever done.
This is very interesting because, as you said, freediving has concentrated meditation, and it took me 4 days of vipassana to get into the state of kind of perpetual bliss, not which kind of originates inside of me, which doesn't need anything outside.
Right.
What I noticed that freediving teaches you to act without thoughts and think without words. Do you feel something like this? And the best dives, like you described, are the ones where you don't think and basically don't do anything.
That's it.
You just, I don't know, the body does everything itself.
That's it. 100%. So because it gives you space to actually fully enjoy the dive. And obviously it means that to get to this point, you really need to work on every aspect of the dive beforehand. So obviously equalization need to be on point. You need to be very relaxed with the setup, with everything. And then yeah, basically you take your breath and you let everything at the surface, and you just let the body take command, and you just enjoy the ride basically. But it will always happen, even in meditation, even in Vipassana. Sometimes you catch yourself down on the line and then having a conversation with yourself. And I remember having this, thoughts, being in the middle of a dive, you're down 50 plus meters and you're having a conversation with yourself, like, just like, oh, I don't know. It's just like, this is weird. Like, because you actually catch yourself realizing this is weird to have this internal dialogue while being down, so deep underwater doing this, like, like I should be more focused on what I'm doing. I don't really need to have this conversation right now.
Yeah, it's like this lab where you can test what your body and your mind thinking about. You kind of tell them, guys, relax, and instead they try to produce their own thoughts, which is once you start noticing it, it's also amazing that you can literally see that you are not this person, and then start cleaning up the trash, or
That's it. That's my point. Yeah, exactly.
So what would be your recommendation or your word of advice, now that your word of wisdom for everybody who's watching us and might think there's something into it?
What I would say is, look into freediving, because it's a beautiful discipline. Don't think that it's only for athletes. It's for everyone. Everyone can hold their breath. Everyone can practice. Everyone can spend time in the water. Obviously, if you want to try to hold your breath in the water, learn how to do it properly before, and always do it with a buddy, obviously for safety reason. But I would say try it. Even doing an intro, don't go for a full course straight away. Do an intro and give it a try. And what I said earlier, just focus on sensation. Obviously, we have the ego side of things saying, and so many times, people hold their breath the first time they come up like, how long was it? And my first question is like, I'll tell you after. How was it? How did you feel? This is the most important part. Really, at any level, time will come when relaxation is here. The performance will come. It's a byproduct of your level of relaxation and your level of enjoyment. And I think that, you know what I'm talking about.
It took me some time to understand that I need to be always calm, relaxed, and content with what's going on underwater. The the dives where I struggled or where I pushed myself just don't count. It's not it's not what freediving is about, and I don't really like when I see movies. It's sometimes portrayed as hard sport where they continuously, especially there was this Russian movie about Natalia Molchanova, kind of where she was, bleeding with bleeding ears,
Really
free diving with ruptured ear. This is not what
extreme.
that's not happening. It's
Yeah.
just crazy. And so any recent piece of equipment that you like freediving? For me, that was the self-equalizing goggles,
Yeah.
which is surprisingly was so amazing that that you can freedive hands-free and so relaxing. What any recommendations from you or tips?
Honestly, I mean, equipment is very personal. What we like and stuff. I personally really like, I really like the nose clip because like it allows you to equalize without having to put your hand on your nose and just like more of the face exposed to the water. Honestly, especially for like beginners at the beginning, just find yourself a nice mask that fit your face nicely, and that's at the beginning. That's all you need, really. Again, obviously freediving, we say, oh, there's not all the gear compared to scuba diving, but we still have a bunch of gear. You get the wetsuit, you get a pair of fins, this and this and this, and at the end of the day, you're actually like piling up. You can pile up quite a bit of gear. So I would say at first, just find yourself a nice mask that fit nicely on your face, and so you can just enjoy.
Yeah, that's interesting because in the beginning I thought that I just need a better mask or this and that, and now it just doesn't matter. It's all about staying calm and relaxed underwater and in life, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I think there's many parallels. Freediving, I think freediving is basically life. I think you get stuff that might be limiting you or that might be causing issue in your life on land is going to come to you underwater, but in like amplified, and you might not realize that this is what it is, but like exactly like you say, at first you're going to try to push through it and you're going to try to, oh, what is wrong, and actually no, it's nothing wrong. You just actually need to relax through it and allow the dive to happen.
Bring that relaxation down and then come up with a new expanded reserve of calm. Then you can relax more. Yeah, that's what freediving is about,
That's
I
it.
guess.
Every dive is a rebirth. Being depth or static is kind of, it is what it is. You're just like using up your breath, your oxygen, and every time you come up you take a fresh breath, and it's like being born again every time, plus the cleansing effect of the water. So there's probably some of it.
Okay, Ben, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
This was an amazing, fun interview, and all I can say, try freediving. Get to the nearest school or instructor. Just give it a try. Ask them to do long static and free immersion. Don't jump to fins. Just do it easy, calm and relax. I think that's the key. And I would like to record more episodes and talk about training and approach. So let's see how it
could do. Thank you for having me. It was really really good. Like you say, like it's good to have a chat with someone when when you speak, the person knows exactly what you're talking about and you really resonate. This is very nice.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, pleasure, Nick. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.